What's up with it, man? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. Here again with another one. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on. And girls, hold on. Hopefully everybody can hear me. To get each and every one of my videos and all my content. Okay, now we have tonight the potential Western Conference Finals matchup. At least that's what it's looking like so far. Still a relatively long season to go. Still got some time. And while everybody has been talking about the Warriors, which is expected, they're the more marketable team. Uh, they're getting ready to play, Phoenix, and this is in many people's eyes, this is an anticipated matchup because of how well both of these teams are playing. Okay, now first and foremost, I know people want to know who do I got winning this game. I got the Warriors winning this game. Okay. Now that's not to say that Phoenix can surprise a lot of people, and it wouldn't be a surprise either. Uh, you know, before I go ahead and go with the Warriors because I've talked about them quite a bit. People got to understand that Phoenix is the one that made it to the finals. Okay, Phoenix is the one, and salute to you, Kenyon Perry. I see you in the building, man. You up in here first. Sorry about that, bro. Phoenix is the one that made it to the finals. Okay, no matter how they got there, no matter what type of leeway that you see them or saw them making it by, they still made it to the finals, and they were still the closest step to actually hoisting the Larry O'Brien. Okay. Now, why do I mention that? Well, you know, like I said before, Devin Booker, his whole focus has really shifted. This season. You know, um, Devin Booker, you can like see it in his whole demeanor that he's on a mission, and he's really wanting to silence whatever critics that are out there. Uh, we know that Devin Booker can can score. We know that he can score. We know that what he's capable of. We know that he's able to bring buckets. But here's the thing that a lot of people aren't understanding about Phoenix and as well as Golden State. Now, I've talked about Golden State and I've talked about them in this light. The reason why this is an anticipated matchup that I don't think a lot of people are really understanding is that if you're going by just team defense alone, uh, and I'll get to defensive efficiency because that's a little bit different. But if we're going by defensive rankings right now, Golden State has the number one ranked defense. Okay, the defensive rating is at 99.4. Phoenix is at 103.7, and That's why I have the Golden State Warriors actually winning this game is because they've impressed me just as much on defense than they have in terms of their offense. Now we know that not Clay Thompson. I'm sorry, Stephen Curry, hands down right now is by a mile by shit. I say 50 miles margin the front runner for MVP. Okay, because if you take away Steph Curry away from the squad right now and the way that he's playing right now, I have no doubt in my mind they'll play okay, but they won't play as well without without Steph. I can guarantee you. And so that's why like I feel like he's going through a transition to himself because he's had to learn over the course of the last couple seasons how to deal with the most adversity because the Warriors haven't been talked about in that light like. But to get back on Phoenix though, you know, Phoenix is coming in. They are, as I said, they're ranked number two. Now, if you're looking at defensive efficiency rating, they're ranked number three, and they're behind the Clippers. But guess what? They beat the Clippers. They ran. Think Phoenix. Let's see. Let's see when they beat. Well, no, 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 no. I'm sorry. That wasn't the Clippers. Um, the Golden State Warriors had beat the Clippers. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that mistake. But they they made the Clippers, and they were coming in as a pretty solid team or whatnot. They came in and they don't play the Clippers. The Suns they don't play them until December the 13th or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's an anticipated matchup as well. You know, but the Clippers are actually in terms of defensive efficiency rating, they're at number two. You know what I'm saying? But still, people see the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors as the number one and the number two team, and it's the truth. Because nobody's taking Brooklyn seriously because when they play the upper echelon teams, guess what ends up happening? They end up, falling short for the most part. Okay. Now, in terms of something that a lot of people aren't really looking at, okay, I'm looking at more. I'm not really looking at the guard play. Believe it or not, I'm not looking. I'm not looking at the guard play at all. Okay. What I'm paying attention to is the post is the post play and the interior because that's what it's going to boil down to. Okay. Now keep in mind that as much as people like to sit here and criticize Aiden and say that he's not putting up 20 points and he's not doing this and he's not doing that. Wait a minute. Last time I checked, they have the second best record in the league, and not only did they have the second best record in the league, both of the postmen have been pretty productive. Both of them. You know what I'm saying in terms of the Phoenix Suns. Uh, when you talk about DeAndre Aiden and as well as JaVale McGee, and that's an addition that nobody was really looking upon. As I stated before, I said the most slept on, and I told my guy Hitman X this too. Shout out to Hitman X. If you haven't subbed to his channel, definitely sub to his channel. This was a slept on pickup, because nobody was really talking about it. But the reason why this was an important pickup is because what does JaVale McGee bring? He brings length. He brings up more length. On top of that, he brings championship grit and experience, and he was successful in that regards. And on top of that, you're talking about a guy that can rim protect too, and more importantly, he's professional. He's gonna do what he says. He's a robot, pretty much, in the sense of you tell him what to do, he gets it done. That's the same thing with Aiden. Now I know Aiden had his little troubles here and there, like in terms of with the front office and all that other stuff, but it wasn't no trouble to be worried about because guess what? Aiden is still coming out, he's still doing his thing, and he's still performing at a high level. I mean, at least in my opinion, because last time I checked, a 64% field goal percentage to go along with 15 and 11. You haven't skipped a beat. You know what I'm saying? You haven't skipped a beat. His points are up from last year, and as well as his field goal. And on top of that, he's giving you 11.5 rebounds. He's up on rebounds and he's up on points. But he's playing slightly less minutes. You know what I'm saying? Not too much, but slightly less. You know, and that's another thing that we have to take into consideration. Is that post play? Is that interior defense? You know. Now Golden State, you know, I'm not really looking at them in the sense of their interior because I mean you got Draymond Green, and a lot of people feel like Draymond Green is playing at an all-star level. I mean, if you're gonna say that Draymond Green's playing at an all-star level, which Draymond Green he's doing a tremendous job this year. You got to give him his flowers and everything, but you also got to look at Andrew Wiggins and you also got to look at Jordan Poole too. And I think that's what the argument is. Yes, Draymond Green, he's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't have anything bad to say about uh Draymond Green, but Jordan Poole, last time I checked, he's the one that's putting up valuable numbers. You know what I'm saying? He's averaging 18 in the regular season this year. You know what I'm saying? To go along with 44.9% shooting. You know, and then on top of that, you can't forget about Wiggins. You know what I'm saying? That's another scoring punch. And see, a lot of people don't understand this either. You know, Andrew Wiggins, for as much as everybody was giving Andrew Wiggins hell about a lot of things. The one thing that I'm impressed about Andrew Wiggins, not just with his scoring, I'm impressed with Andrew Wiggins how well he's been playing on defense. You know, Andrew Wiggins has been playing his ass off on both offense, but as well as defense. Andrew Wiggins is averaging 19. He's averaging 19 and shooting 49.7%. I mean, he's been efficient. And you talking about a career 44.7% uh, shooter from the field. Now he had a little subpar night against the Clippers, but I think that he'll respond pretty good because one thing that he's been showing is he's been showing up for big games. Sorry about that, y'all. Like I said, man, I don't know if y'all heard my lives earlier, but I've been having a lot of technical issues that's been going on and stuff, man. So just bear with me though. Now, like I was saying about Andrew Wiggins, you know what I'm saying? It's a step up from what he's been doing and what he's been known to do. You know, now I don't think that the post the post play can be talked about, as much. The only I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, they got Looney who does a solid job. I don't think he's gonna be able to keep up with Aiden. Uh, you got, you know, Porter, he doesn't play the post. While he doesn't play the post, you know what I'm saying, he could still, step in there and he could, give trouble in terms of the interior. And then uh Jellica, you know what I'm saying, and he could step in there and fill some valuable minutes. But for the most part, they're a hybrid, like they're accustomed to being, like that Golden State basketball. They're gonna be a hybrid. They're gonna be running. But see, it is gonna come down to, at the end with the guard play. But I'm more focused on the interior, how they're gonna respond to, Aiden, uh, and the interior, with Phoenix, because they're gonna bring it tonight. They're definitely gonna bring it tonight. Uh, and then we also got to look at their bench too. Their bench has always been solid. As I mentioned, you got the Porter, you got Gary Payton the second, which I'm gonna talk about little Payton in a whole nother video. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of people are giving the Hall of Famer's son any type of credit in that regard. But Gary Payton the second, man, he's been doing his thing, especially off the bench. Now I think that Phoenix may have just a slight edge in terms of their bench. You know, uh, Phoenix. I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to, like, as I mentioned before, with sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. I'm getting a call. What the hell? Okay, sorry about that. I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to the importance of JaVale McGee, because, JaVale McGee off the bench has been solid too. Then, of course, you never can go wrong with Shamit. Shamit, even though he doesn't play that much, I mean, he still gets valuable minutes. Of course, Payne, but I think the biggest slept on one, in my opinion, that's really, I think it's just highway robbery, the way nobody's talking about this guy, and he could be a starter too, and that's Cam Johnson. You know, now I know that they're deeper, the Warriors are deeper, but I just think that their bench is better in terms of what those guys have been through. When you talk about the combination of Payne, Cam Johnson, Shamit, and then of course JaVale McGee. You know what I'm saying? You talking about McGee, Johnson, and Payne. They've been in the trenches. Not McGee, uh, Payne, Johnson, uh, and Shamit. They've been in the trenches. They've been in the trenches together already. You know. No, wait, no, Shamit. No, no, sorry about that. Shamit wasn't on there last. No, it was just Payne and Johnson. Sorry about that. Shamit was in Brooklyn. I apologize about that, y'all. But they've been in the trenches together. But Shamit has been in some tough games. You know what I'm saying? He's been battle tested too. And on top of that, he's a defender that you can rely on, and he can give you a little bit of scoring too. You know. People sleep on. Shannon reminds me just a slight bit, a little bit of, to a lesser degree, of a Evan Fournier, that type. And I've already compared uh, Cam Johnson to my boy over there, Thibault. That's who Cam Johnson reminds me of. But this game is going to come down to the guard play in the end. We got the matchup between, you know, Steph Curry, who will be facing up with the backcourt of Chris Paul. Now, Chris Paul, we really don't need to say anything about Chris Paul. Chris Paul is going to come in. He's going to do what's necessary. He's going to, control the plays. Now, one could be lying to say that they thought Chris Paul was going to be playing as well. Listen, I'm here to tell you, Chris Paul has surprised the shit out of me. And listen, that's not to talk down on Chris Paul or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But Chris Paul has hit the ground running and has not stopped, and he's constantly, you know, making history. 14, 14 and 10 this year. He's picking up where he left off. He's picking up where he left off, man. He's hit there. Like I said, man, last year, he was up on everything pretty much, you know what I'm saying? He was around at, he was at 16, you know what I'm saying, 16 and 8. But, he's still doing his thing. 14, and he's up on assists this year. You know what I'm saying? He's up on assists, shooting a little down, but no, they have the best record. You know what I'm saying? They got, well, the second best record. And on top of that, he's giving you, valuable. He's been consistent pretty much the whole season. I think he only had like 2 subpar games, and that came against Denver and Dallas. But you can't call that. You can't even call that subpar. Maybe you could with the Dallas game, because he, shooting wise, he was 2 of 12, but he still was giving you 14 assists. And then on top of that, against Denver, he was at 10. He was in double digit assists at 10. So Chris Paul is still been doing his thing. Another guy that I don't think a lot of people are looking at too. You said he didn't go to LBJ route. Yeah, I mean, hey, that was his decision. That was his decision. And it's not just LBJ. It's KD. It's Harden. You got to throw them in there too. We can't. We could sit here and just talk about them, but we got to throw them in there too, or all them other superstars. You know, but yeah, you're right. He didn't take that route. He turned to he chose to take the Giannis way. You know what I'm saying? Which is not have a whole bunch of superstars, but just have a supporting cast. But I'm not gonna get into that. At the end of the day, they still got to go out there. They still got to play. They still got to execute, and they still have to do what's necessary to win. Right? Exactly. Exactly. Kevin Foster, salute to you. So we could sit here. Listen, you could put a team together, that looks great on paper. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to go out there and execute. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, man, shoot, look at the Golden State Warriors. They don't have their trio that they did. Now they getting ready to get them back. When Clay gets right and everything like that. But listen, they're winning with guys. Andrew Wiggins. You know what I'm saying? While he's talented and everything, he had been subpar the last couple of years over there in Minnesota. Then on top of that, you got some guys on there, that are emerging that you don't even know about. Jordan Poole, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knew who he was. Everybody, was got hard on Draymond for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They was wondering where he was and everything. Now these guys are starting to sizzle. They starting to brew. And they starting to do their thing again. You know what I'm saying? And this was without multiple superstars. But it's just a matter of them going out there and executing. And a lot of people don't really understand that. And it's the same thing with Phoenix too. Phoenix is doing everything organically. That's why James Jones was able to win Executive of the Year. They're doing everything organically, man. But like I said, man, it's gonna be a heavily anticipated matchup. Um, I think the most important matchup, and some people might be sleeping on this, is and if they guard each other, I'm interested to see how they're gonna work out. Is Mikal Bridges and Andrew Wiggins? I'm gonna be paying attention to that matchup if they happen to guard each other. You never know who might be guarding who or would not. Uh, Draymond pretty much can switch on anybody as well, and I don't think a lot of people are looking at Mikal Bridges. The type of defense that he's been playing either. So this is going to be a fun game. I think that in as far as transition, they're both pretty good in transition in terms of running the floor. But if I got to get an edge, man, it's gonna be Golden State. But Phoenix can catch you sleeping, and you still got one of the best ball handlers in the game in CP3. You got two of the best ball handlers ever in history playing on one floor. You know, but they can both run the floor pretty good, especially when you talk about getting up the floor. Your postman getting up the floor and aiding. Uh, you know, Draymond, getting up and down the floor. Because he's lost some weight. I don't think a lot of people realize that about Draymond Green either. He's lost some weight. You know, Draymond Green, yeah, he's at an All Star level and everything, but if you're gonna say that he's at an All Star level, I must mention again, you got to look at those other guys that are on the squad too. You know, because they have been playing. They've been playing. To me, it's a combination of Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. But they all been doing their thing collectively, and right now they shouldn't be focused on who's an all star. Even with Draymond, don't be focused. I know it's a personal goal and everything, but don't be focused on that. Focus on the chip, man. That's what you should be focused on. Phoenix ain't worried about who gonna be all star. Who gonna be MVP, who gonna be this or be any. Nah, they're not focused on none of that. They focus on getting there. And see, you could tell that Steph Curry, he's taking this personal. He took a lot of criticism about what took place last year with that matchup between him and John Morant. I think he was disappointed about that. You know, yeah, he led the league in scoring and stuff like that, and he got the little award for it and all that other stuff. But still, he don't want that. He want rings. Steph want to win. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and deny that Steph don't. He don't want to win. Man, Steph want to win. And you could tell this dude is on a mission. Both of these guys are on a mission, especially Devin Booker. He's on a mission too. You can see, man, he wants to get back to the finals. They're hungry right now, and they're at the peak stages of their career. Matter of fact, shit, you could look at Stephen Curry. You could tell he took his conditioning even more serious than what he did before. He's always taking his workouts pretty serious and stuff. But you could tell it that criticism that he took, it, it put more flames into what he was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? He put some more sauce into stepping up his game, you know, especially on the defensive end. It always goes back to that. And this is gonna be a fun game to watch, man. It's gonna be fun, exciting, man. It's gonna be some physicality involved, all of that, man. It's gonna be a conglomerate, man, for real. But y'all, let me know who you think is gonna win tonight, man. Do you got the Warriors or do you got, the Suns? Y'all tell me what you think. Leave your comments, like this video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications. Polo Sports Talking ENT, man. I get at y'all later.